Hello students, we have finished the lessons, the question answers, and now I have put together some objective questions for you. Objective questions, you can get full marks. Maybe in the long answers you might forget a point or two, but here if you know your answers, directly you can get full marks. So you try to cover as much as possible over here so that you don't lose any marks. Now we are starting with the first lesson, the rise of nationalism in Europe. Okay, so the first objective that we have, Dash depicted a world of democratic and social republics. Now, it can also come as a one-line answer, who depicted a world of democratic and social republics. So, the answer, let us write it, Frederick, that is Sorrow, depicted a world of democratic and social republics. Okay, you've got the first answer. Now the second one, La Patrie and Le Citoyen. What does it signify? Okay, so it signifies the fatherland and the citizen. Citoyen means citizen and patrie means fatherland. Okay, now we go on to the next one. Napoleon invaded Italy in which year? Now it can also come as a one-line question. In which year did Napoleon invade Italy? So in 1790s. Now when we say 1790s, that means 91, 92, 93, all those are known as the 90s. Have you got these? You can write it in your book if you want, or you can pause it and then take it down. Okay, we go on to the next one now. The fourth question, the first expression of nationalism came with the French Revolution. So that was the first time when feelings of nationalism were created. The fifth question, the main function of the Prussian Zollverein was to abolish all the tariff barriers. Now suppose I had to ask, what was the main function of the Prussian Zollverein? Even then the answer would be same. Only thing you have to write it in one sentence. The main function of the Prussian Zollverein was to abolish tariff barriers. Or it can come another way also. Dash abolished the tariff barriers. Then your answer will be Zollverein. Okay, so in different ways it can ask. Then suppose you get it as a match the column. And on one side you have abolished the tariff barriers and the other side you have the Prussian Zollverein. So it can come as match the column also, you can still get your marks. Now let us look at the sixth one. The measuring unit L was used to measure cloth. Next, the Habsburg rulers were the rulers of which empire? They were the rulers of Austro-Hungarian Empire. Okay, so they can ask who were the rulers of Austro-Hungarian Empire? Then you will say the Habsburg rulers. Or in what way was cloth measured, or what was the unit to measure cloth? So then you will give the answer L. So it can come the other way around also. Okay, we continue. Let us look at the eighth one. The Congress of Vienna was held in 1815. So as a one-liner they will ask, when was the Congress of Vienna held? Okay, now the ninth one, Dash did not attend the Congress of Vienna? Now, there was one country which did not attend the Congress of Vienna, and that was Switzerland. Which country did not attend the Congress of Vienna? Even then you will say Switzerland. Or Switzerland did not attend which Congress? So then the Congress of Vienna. The 10th one. The 4 European powers who collectively defeated Napoleon were, that means altogether all of them defeated Napoleon. So the first country was Austria, then you had Prussia, Britain, and Russia. Okay. So collectively, Austria, Prussia, Britain and Russia defeated Napoleon. Should we go on to the next one? The 11th one. Duke Metternich described Daesh as the most dangerous enemy of social order. Now, whom did he say was a very dangerous person? That is Giuseppe Mazzini. Giuseppe. Okay, this is pronounced as Giuseppe Mazzini. 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 Please get the spelling right, otherwise you lose marks because of that. Or if they ask who declared Giuseppe Mazzini as the most dangerous enemy of social order, then the answer would have been Duke Metternich. Okay, it can be asked the other way around also. Going on to the 12th one. The Frankfurt Parliament of 1848, where was it held? Was at. That means we have to tell the place. Okay, at the Church of St. Paul's, or the St. Paul's Church. Now, if I wanted to change the answer and or the question, suppose I asked in which year was the Frankfurt Parliament held? If I asked in which year, then you would have to say in 1848. Okay, so I can ask you about the year, I can ask you about the place. Have you finished copying it down? Or you can pause the DVD and jot it down. Now, some of you might feel that if it is on the DVD, why should I write it down? If you have it written down, it's always good because you can refer to it at any time. You have your book with you. While you are traveling, you can study, and at any time you feel like opening. Sometimes there is no electricity, you can't run your DVD then. So, you can always open your book. If you have it written down, you remember better. Okay, let's go to the next one now, the 13th one. Daesh was proclaimed the German emperor after its unification. That means after Germany was unified, that time who was declared as the emperor or proclaimed as the emperor? So, we have Prussian king, that is William I. If you only write King William I was declared as the emperor, also it is fair enough, but if you specify Prussian King William I, so that you know that he was from Prussia and he was declared as the emperor, that will be even better. So, we can ask who was declared as a one-line answer, then also you can answer, but only difference is you have to answer in a complete sentence. When they ask you one-line questions, you don't answer only in one word. If someone asks me, what is your name? And if I say Rashmi, that is not a good enough answer. We have to say my name is Rashmi, right? So, same way, if it's asked for a fill in the blank, you write it in one word. Again, some children only write A, the first blank, whatever is the answer. Second, whatever is the answer. If possible, write the full sentence. Don't be so lazy. underline your answer so that it gets highlighted, so they understand that this is your answer. So that even sometimes if your numbering is wrong, you might have written the wrong number in your answer paper, so still the teacher can see the sentence and understand that you have written the right answer for that question. Going on to the 14th one. Among the Italian leaders, Daesh was neither a revolutionary nor a democrat, and that is Cavour. Now, if they ask you, Cavour was neither a dash nor a dash, that can also come as a question, then you will write he was neither a revolutionary nor a democrat. Going on to the 15th one. Dash was responsible for the unification of Germany. So that is Bismarck. Now, if you want to write Otto von Bismarck, even that is fair enough. You are writing the full name, or if you write Bismarck also, it is good enough. If they ask you who was responsible for the unification of Germany, even then you will write Otto von Bismarck. 16th, the Treaty of Dash recognized Greece as an independent state. So that is the Treaty of Constantinople. Constantinople was the capital of the Byzantine Empire, that is the Eastern Roman Empire. Okay, so that is the Treaty of Constantinople, which recognized Greece as an independent state. Or if they ask you which country was recognized as an independent state after the Treaty of Constantinople, then your answer will be Greece. 17th one. Dash was proclaimed the King of United Italy in 1871. Now earlier, Italy was divided into different parts. Once they unified it, thanks to Garibaldi and Mazzini, who was declared or proclaimed as the King of the United part, that means all the parts coming together, that is United Italy. That is Victor Emmanuel. He was declared as the king, and Victor Emmanuel II. Now the number is very important. You can see even in French Revolution, you have Louis the 14th, Louis the 15th, Louis the 16th. Even in Napoleon, you have Napoleon I, II and all. So the number is also important. So Victor Emmanuel II was proclaimed the King of United Italy in 1871. Now, it can also come as a question for asking you the year. When was Victor Emmanuel proclaimed the King of United Italy? Then the answer will be in 1871. Have you got that? I am not using Hindi to explain anything just now because this is purely fill in the blanks. आपको इसमें कुछ समझना नहीं है, आपको lesson समझाया गया था, and here you have to basically learn it. Learn it by heart or learn it by rote. You have to know all your years, all your facts. If you know all this, you can get full marks in your objective questions. Okay, now let's go on to the 18th one. Dash was an allegory of the French nation. Dash was an allegory of the French nation. Here the answer will be Marion. So, who was the allegory of the French nation? Then also you write Marion was an allegory of the French nation. In the 19th one, let us see. Dash led the protest movement against the Protestants in Ireland. So here we have the answer, Wolfe Tone. Okay, so if you get it, who led the movement against the Protestants in Ireland? Or in which country did Wolfe Tone lead the protest movement against the Protestants? If it comes in which country, then Ireland will be the answer. Who led the revolt? Then it will be Wolfe Tone. Or against whom did he lead the protest movement? Then it will be against the Protestants. Got it? Looking at the next fill in the blank. Dash became the allegory of the German nation. Okay, so this is Germania. So what became the allegory of the German nation? We will say Germania, or if they ask Germania became the allegory of which nation, then you will say of the German nation. Now let us look at the 21st one. Dash was known as the power keg of Europe. Do you know what a keg is? It's a barrel in which you have gunpowder. That means it can blow up any minute just with a small spark. So which area was known as the power keg? So we have the Balkans. You know that First World War also started because of all the countries eyeing and wanting the Balkans. Okay. Next question that we have, 22nd one. The French Revolution occurred in, and we have to write, now don't write in France. Of course, if it is called the French Revolution, it will be in France. But we have to write in which year did it occur. Okay. So it happened in 1789. So that means we are writing in which year it occurred. Next, Johann Gottfried was a dash. Now here we have to write what was his profession. So he was a scientist. Have you got all these? Should I turn the page? You have written it down? Next, 24th one. During the middle of the 19th century, Italy was divided into how many states? Later on, you know, it was unified. So it was divided into 7 states. Going on to the next one, 25th. Dash was ruled by an Italian princely house. Now out of these 7 parts, we are talking about the northern part. I am giving you a clue. Do you remember? Sardinia, Piedmont, this was ruled by an Italian princely house. 26th, the Act of Union between England and Dash resulted in the formation of the United Kingdom. So, England and which other place came together to form Great Britain or United Kingdom? So, that was Scotland. 27th, Ireland was incorporated into the United Kingdom. That means England, Scotland and also Ireland became part of United Kingdom in which year? Now you have to write over here in which year. So that was in 1801. If they ask you in 1801 which part was incorporated in the Great Britain, then you will give the answer as Ireland. But Ireland was incorporated in which year? Then you will give it as 1801 or 1801. Let us look at the last one for this lesson. Dash is known as the cradle of civilization. That means where did civilization really start? Art, culture, architecture, what we call civilized living, and that is Greece. So here we have lots of fill in the blanks which we have covered, which can come as 1 mark answer, that is just write in 1 line. It can come for fill in the blanks or even for match the columns. Okay, so you have multiple choice normally. I have not given you multiple choice. Don't depend on the multiple choice. Sometimes the students expect in bracket they will give you 3 options, then you choose 1 option. But suppose no option is given. Even then you must know it on your own also. Because if you are depending on an option, sometimes you get confused, was it this one or was it that one. Now for example, when we write a year, there will be 2-3 years which will be given as option and you might get confused. So it is better to know your answers and know it thoroughly.